Hello and how are you? My name is Mahino Barak and I welcome you to another video of learning how to make Flutter user interfaces. So in the previous video we got introduced to Flutter cards and we did a lot of examples of how to make of how we can implement cards of Flutter. We did such a great thing, if you still remember. So in today's video we're going to proceed from what we looked at in the previous video, and we're going to see how we can still go ahead and implement cards in different ways. For example, right now we're going to make this beautiful onboarding screen, or what they call wizard screen. Also, if time gets enough, we'll go ahead and do also this wizard light screen that will have some image in background, and you can use that kind of wizard to get on board your users or the users of your application. So without wasting much time, let's go ahead and start implementing this kind of wizard. I mean, start implementing cards to make this kind of wizard, or what you call onboarding screens. All right, so let's get started. So this is the project that we've been doing. This is what we did in the previous lecture. So let's go ahead and create a fresh screen where we're going to increment this one. Okay, so you can call it card wizard or wizard card, something like that. All right, so let's go ahead and go and create a fresh new screen, and then we can call it card, and then I'll call underscore wizard.dat. All right, so after doing that, I'm going to simply come and put here a stateful widget and call it card wizard. We can call card wizard screen. Press enter, then come and import these ones. So after doing that, we're going to add this on our home screen, so that when someone clicks on that, when someone reaches the home screen, should be able to click and preview and view this and access this card wizard. All right, or wizard cards, or what we're going to demonstrate here. So let's go ahead and go to our main route. I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to call this one wizard card, or card wizard, and then I want, when someone clicks there, should be able to proceed to this wizard card. All right, so you've seen I've already linked the screen. So when I click there, you're able to see the placeholder that has nothing. So all right, let's go ahead and start implementing, and as we're doing what you exactly want. So this is what we're going to do. The first thing, we're going to, of course, to begin with making a scaffold. Okay, we're going to begin by putting this, returning a scaffold instead of placeholder. Scaffold instead of placeholder. All right, after returning our scaffold, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to give our scaffold a background color of gray 100. Okay, background color of scaffold gray 100. So after doing that, the next thing we're going to give the scaffold the up bar. Okay, so come to the scaffold and give it an up bar. All right, and then this up bar, we make it 0, so that it should spend like 100% of our height. All right, okay, the next thing, now we're going to put the body that is going to contain this wizard that can be scrolled. All right, so let's go step by step. So the first thing, we're going to return a container. So here we come to our scaffold, and then we create a body that is going to return the container. And collapse this one. Okay, so after returning the container, of course this container is going to take it's going to take a child. So give this container a width of infinity and height of infinity. All right, and then give it a child. So in this child, the child, we're going to give it a column, so we can be able to have these dots and also this the interface. So let's go ahead and do that. So just simply come and give here column, and then the first widget is going to be it is going to expand as maximum as possible, the maximum, the available space. So we're going to put here expanded. I mean, so children, and then you put expanded, so it can spend the maximum height as possible. And then after putting expanded, we are going to put now what we call page view. So page view gives you ability to create an item that you can be able to change the views, okay, by use of of sliding. So let's go ahead and create our page view. So I'll just simply come here to our expanded and give it a child of page view, like this. So before give this child, I mean this page view children, let's go ahead and put these dots, okay. So I'm going to show you how we can do that. Okay, let's finish with these dots at last. All right, these dots will come at last. Let us finish this main page view. So this page view has some few parameters that it takes. So the first parameter that it takes the onChange listener. So onChange listener is a method that will be called when an item in the page view changes. So this is going to be just nothing but a method. Okay, so let's press Alt and Enter and create this method here. So it's a function, you see, it's a function. So in that onPage listener, it's going to have the page that has changed. Okay, so it's going to come here, the page that has changed will give it to here, to which the page is at that moment, and then we'll check if that page is the last, and then if it is the last, we'll be able to change the wording that we want to display. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, we're going to have our integer here that's going to be public, that's going to call int page. So this page by default is going to be it's going to be a 0. Okay, so this is going to be a 0. So by default it's at page 0. Okay, so every time this page listener changes, we'll just be updating this public page is going to be our value, this one that has come here. So I'm just showing you the logic that we're doing in that onChange method. So after something has changed, we check if it is the last screen or it's not the last screen. Why do you want to check if the last screen? We want to display this different word get started when it's the last screen. When it's not the last screen, we want to display next. Okay, so we're going to create a boolean here and we call it is last. Okay, so we're going to create a boolean here and call it is last. Is last by default is going to be false, so it's not the last at beginning. All right, so after and then say is last equals to, so okay, you can just simply say if our current page, okay, the current page if the current page equals to, and then you have here what you call wizard. So the wizard is going to be now the items that are going to be in this screen. So you can also access the original size of those the wizard data. This is just nothing but a list of objects that are going to contain these images. Okay, so you can call it wizard data or you can call it anything. Okay, my list of items. Okay, so you can call this one even items. Let me call it items so it should not confuse you. So we're going to import this wizard data and then say dummy.get wizard data. Let me explain this. Okay, this wizard is nothing but just our model that you can create even yourself. Okay, so this is the model that it comes with the project that I told you to download. Okay, I created it, so you see it is just nothing but a model. You can also create it. Okay, so this model, it takes the image link or the image path, it takes the background, what you want to display in the background and what you want to display in it as a title, and also the brief message and also the color. So you can create your own your own wizard object in your own way in that you want. Okay, so don't be confused that I don't know where the wizard comes from. This is nothing but a class model that you can create in your own way and give as many parameters as you want or as minimum as you want. So I just here create a list of items. Okay, and I say dummy.get wizard items. So this dummy.get wizard item, this dummy is my what? Is also the dummy data that it comes with a what? With a project that I told you to download. Okay, so it is nothing but a list of what? Of objects of wizards. Okay, so instead of me creating of us creating this object here, I had to create them first, and then for it you can just call this one. It gives you a list of what? Of these wizards. You see I'm here just looping, and when I loop I just create a single wizard object, and then I add it in the item, and then I return. So it means that now when you call dummy, this is a dummy that will be using to generate a lot of data or different kind of data. Okay, it has some dummy data. It just comes with that scratch folder that I told you. So it gets items and then said dummy.get wizard, so it gives us the list of just dummy wizards. And then here we have the wizard item. So how shall we know that this is at last item, so that we should be able to say get started instead of what? Instead of next. So we'll know if the page is equal to the length of our what? Of our item minus 1, because pages always begin from what? From 0, but the normal counting always begins from what? From 1. So if it is that, then we'll have to make this is last to be true. Is last equals to true. Okay, otherwise else is last is not true. It means that is last is not what? Is not true. This is got false. So that's how we'll know that whether this page has reached the last screen or not. Alright, so while still here on change method, see, on change method, then we update the state. Okay, so after updating the page and also the state, then you should be able to know whether you're on the last or not. So alright, that is the on-change method, and I hope you've understood everything step by step. Okay, so we go back, we have the preview, the page preview. Then it has what you call controller. So this controller is the one that you can use to control, either to close the screen or to stop the thing or to move it to next, something like that. So let's go ahead and give it the page controller. So you're going to come here and give it a controller, and then you give it page controller. So this page controller is going to be a variable that we're going to create also. So this page controller, you just simply create it like this. Okay, you say page controller and then you give it a name, then equals to page controller and open. So when you open, it has a parameter that takes. It asks, for example, where do you want your item to begin from. So initial page, you can say it should always begin from what? From 0. Okay, so you can look at other parameters. Okay, you may need to do what to set in this page controller. So you come and make this page controller to be the control of this page view. So after doing that, the next thing is what is now after creating the page controller. I hope you are following and I hope you're understanding. Now the next thing is now to build the items. Okay, build page view. Okay, so what do you want to display? Okay, so this one is going to be, so I can just simply come here and say children. Now what you want to display, children, and then I can call this item what I call build page view. This one is just going to be returning for me things that I want to display. Press Alt and Enter to create that method. Okay, so if I want to display just text and the pages, okay, so I can just simply say text and then I put here page. Okay, that is on, and then put it to string. So by doing like this, you should be able to know. So I'll have to open it again. Alright, I have to return. Okay, so first finish it. So this page builder is not that it's going to be doing what? It's supposed to be an array, because it is a column. So to return it in form of what? In form of array. Yeah, you see. So I hope you can see that. So we have an item here, but we have not just added. So you can just see that we have now at least some control on it. So this page builder is just responsible for building what? The item that you want to display. All right, so let's go ahead and now just build now this item, this beautiful thing that you need to display. All right, so it's going to return a list of what? Of widgets. So I can just simply come here and say list of widgets, and then I return this widget that I want to return here. Okay, like this. So in these widgets, I'm going to do what? I'm going to loop. I'm going to loop, and then I create one by one. All right. So this is the task of the page builder, to build the list of widgets that you want to display in the screen. So let's go ahead and look through these widgets as we create a single widget one by one, or the single user interface for each wizard. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say for variable, maybe you can call it maybe wizard or anything, in items. So we put our wizards into items. All right, so after doing that, we're going to now go ahead and create a single what? A single widget. All right, so you can say maybe widget, and then you say wg, something like that, anything. Widget equals to container. All right, and then just this is a container. So after creating that widget, you're going to do what? You're going to add it in this what? In these widgets, all the widgets that are going to return, this one here. So dot what? Dot add widget, wg. So this will be called one time, and then mean that these widgets will be built only one time. So I can just simply come here and say maybe text, sorry, and give some child, and then give it maybe text, and say okay. So you'll see I'll be able to do what? To scroll one by one. I hope you can see that. Okay, now let's go ahead and now start putting content inside this item, inside these widgets. All right, so it's going to be a container. Now we're going to design this beautiful thing that you're seeing here. So it's going to be a container, a very pretty container. Then you put alignment center. So going to be alignment center, can as well be a card. Okay, alignment center. And then after we give this width and height infinity, so you can spend as maximum height and maximum what width as possible. So we'll have something like this, you see. All right, so after doing that, we're going to give it a wrap. This wrap is optional. We're going to give it a wrap, so it can be as minimal as possible. So give it a what? A wrap. So wrap will take what? Will take children, and then inside this wrap, we're going to give now a what? A container. Okay, container, and then this container we can give it height and width. Give it height and width. All right, after giving it height and width, now we're going to go ahead and create now a card inside this container. We have here nothing. Okay, now we're going to put here a child of a card, and then we put our content inside that card. All right, so let's go ahead and put here the card. I hope you're following. All right, then after putting a card there, we're going now to give this card a what? Some shape. I've already shown you how you can import this shape, or how you can create this shape. So after doing that, we're going to give the layer of this card and the elevation. Good, so you can do that. Then after, we're going now to give this card content. So you give it child, and then since we want some things to be on top of the other, so we're going to give it a stack. All right, and then this stack we're going to have children, and then you go ahead and give the image, the first image. So I'll copy this and explain it. So I'll give the first image. So you can see this image is now referencing this item. Okay, so maybe we that, or you can call it object, something like that, into items. So it's a wizard.background. So this is why we had to create a model. So this is a background of this wizard, this one here. So the dummy, it initializes and store this some background in this wizard, the background image. Okay, but you can do your own that you want. Then you give the width and height to be infinity. So since we have already defined here the height and width, so you can make this one infinity, and then say maybe box fit to be covered. Then we'll have something beautiful like that one. Alright, and this is slidable. You see, it is slidable. It can be slided. I hope you can see that. Okay. Alright. Oh shit. Alright, so after doing that, now we're going to add there some content on it. We're going to add now the overlay. The overlay, this time this overlay that's going to be here on top of it. So just simply come here on bottom and then say color, and then give it for example light green, and then make it with opacity of 0.7. so there will have that kind of background of green. Okay, so it can be even kind of red, then give some kind of opacity. So opacity means it should be kind of transparent. So if you want to make it like really you want to do something on top of it, you can make it transparent like this. Just give a stack, give an image, and then give something, a layer between, and this layer between should have almost same height, and go ahead and give it with the opacity, and then pass the how transparent you want it to be. So I hope you understand that. Okay, I hope you understand that. Alright, so after giving it, now the next thing is now we're going to write here the content on top of it. Okay, so since you have now that layer, and then you can now go ahead and do it and put now the content on top of that layer. So, and that's the power of stack, or that is the use of stack. Anything that is next to it, it will be on top of the next thing. So let's go ahead and now put the content in that layer. So just simply come here and give a column. Okay, and then this column we're going to give now some height on top, so you can have some children, so you can have something on top of it, some space here. It is 35, and then we're going to give this title. Okay, so this title is going to be from the wizard. All right, so I'll just copy this and then come and give this one. Okay, so this title is coming from the what? From the wizard object that we initialized. So I'll just go ahead and import this to format. So this is just our first text. Okay, so now import like that. You see, it's beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful. All right, so after doing that, the next thing we're going to put this next lorem ipsum, which is also the description that is in the wizard. So I'll just come and paste here. It is nothing but a container. It's nothing but a container that is having a text and having this kind of styling. So there we go. I hope you can see that. All right, so have this. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing that you're going to do, we're going to give it an expanded. So we want an image, this icon, to be as maximum as possible, and then you give it this image. Sorry, in this column, this is a container. I come after this container, just this column, then put an image and the wizard of this image. So this image is the one that is in the what? In the object of wizard, this one. Okay, so create your object in your own way. It can even be a network image in your own case. So I give it a height of 140 and the width of 150. All right, and then give this image a color of white. So those images are already provided in the thing that I gave you. So you'll have something beautiful like this one. Okay, then we have a button. Okay, so I'm going to copy this button and explain it step by step. This one. So I'll just copy this container and I'm going to explain it step by step. Okay, so this container, you can pause the video and see what I'm explaining. It's having width of infinity. Remember, this one has expanded, meaning that it can spade as it's going to push whatever is next to it to the bottom. So it's going to have an image of width of infinity and height of 40, and then inside this container will have a button called with of elevated button. Okay, and then this elevated button is having this style that you can see here of button style form, and then it's having light green of this color. Then after we have the text. So this text, it is checking is last. If it is last, it makes the word get started. If it is not last, it makes the word to be what? To be next. So I check if it is last here also. When someone presses on this button, if it is last, I end the screen. Okay, I pop the screen. I go back. This is navigator.go back. And then if it is not last, you see, I return here. If it is not last, I say page controller.next page. Okay, and then you put the decoration the animation that you want. But this one is going to call the page controller and make it move to the what? To the next page. So when you save, you'll have something like this one. So if it is not last, it will have the word next, and if you click and it is not last, it will move you to the next page by the use of this one. So if you reach the last one, you see the word is get started, and of course it is last. So when you click on that one, it is going to take you back to the what? To the main screen. So if it is last, now this is when you take someone now to the what? To your app if you're doing the onboarding of screen. So I hope you've understood that. You can pause the video and internalize it again, because this is very important. You can even make a different design in a way that you can have totally separate different design, and you use that app to do what? To get your users on what? On board. So you can see next. I can even go back. You see, can go back, can go next, and when you're done, you say get started. You see, ready to travel, pick a ticket, then put some description, flight to destination. Okay, and then enjoy the what? Enjoy the holiday. So maybe your application might start like that. So you can see I've taken you step by step. If you feel like I skipped any step, please rewatch the video very carefully and make sure that you understand. Okay, and make sure that you do what? That you understand. Otherwise, these things are very possible. So you can think creatively of how you can make such kind of item even much more better. Okay, you see, like you have a lot of parameters here that you can do. Also, WhatsApp status, they have something like this where you can just simply slide, but for them they have timer, so you can implement the timer that when someone is on new screen, when the page is on the new screen, it starts counting. After the certain second, it moves you to what? To the next page by the power of the what? Of the controller. All those are the different ways of how you can implement this one. If I want to implement this one to be 100% of the width, you see, I can even say maybe width infinity, height infinity. It should be able to do what? To spend the maximum height as possible, and also the width infinity, something like that. If you want, you can as well expand as to infinity size, or make it a full screen if you want to. Alright, so that is how you implement such kind of what? Of wizard. Try it out and make sure that you do what? That you understand. I wanted us to implement this one also. It is just the same. I think you can do it as a challenge. Okay, the last thing that we did not put is now the what? Is these what? These dots, the bottom dots. Those are very simple to put. Just simply come here to align and then add ones. Then you'll be able to have those bottom dots, you see, in the main screen. After expanded, put your build dots, how you want your dots to look like. just copy this method and I'll put there for you. You pause the video and do it. So instead of wizards, we're going to just put items and then put here the colors that you want, and the dot is selected. So you'll have your dots. You see the dots are down there. So go ahead and challenge yourself and make sure that you do these things. When does the text change? The text is changing on change listener. Let's see when you build this. Let me show you. This builder, it builds all the widgets and make them ready. Okay, so this page view, it is responsible for switching those pages. The page view, the page view component is the one responsible for switching the pages that you have built. You see this builder, it is when we build what? Our pages. Okay, so we put even the text there. You see the titles already put there. So you build them only one time, and then it will be responsible for Flutter to switch them. So, and then you can look at this function of what? Of bottom buttons, of bottom points, so whatever, buttons, whatever. You can design them in any way that you want, whether you want it to be them in box, something like that. You can as well design them like that. All right, so you go ahead and challenge yourself and do this one. Go ahead and challenge yourself and do this one. Instead of giving it a background color, give it a what? A white color. And also this is just very simple. It is just a column, and then the scaffold, you give it a what? An image in background with a layer behind it. So challenge yourself and do this. Okay, we're remaining 8 minutes. Let's see what you can do in those 8 minutes. So this light, I want you to do it by yourself, and let me see if I can do something. Wizard overlap. This one, I want you to do it by yourself. Challenge yourself and do that. Let's go ahead and do these card outlines, and then if time allows, we'll go ahead and do the expanded. I wanted to do another thing. Is it the overlap? This one. Yeah, so we're going to do those ones. I'm going to do the first one, the outlines, and then this card overlap if time will allow. Outlines, just very, very simple. I think you should do a hard one. This is just simple. Okay, let's do this one. Let's do this. This is a little bit challenging. Let's say that you want to do such kind of user interface. Yeah, if we finish this, we'll have done a very good service to ourselves. All right, the overlap. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to create a fresh screen. So as I've told you, please challenge yourself and do this. Challenge yourself and do this one. You will not be taught everything. Another thing, you have to brainstorm, how can I do such also by myself? Okay, otherwise if you just do everything that I told you exactly as I tell you, then you'll have not learned, you will have just memorized. So challenge yourself and do this. It's like the other one, but here the background is not an image, the image is in behind the scaffold. Okay, so do that please. All right, so let's go ahead and do this overlap. Okay, let's go ahead and do this overlap. All right. This single page that has card that overlaps. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So just simply come and say new. We're going to create a fresh screen and call it card underscore overlap dot dart. All right, so we're going to put here stateful widget and then call this one card overlap. Okay, then come and import and remove this. All right, So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. First of all, let's first add it in the main home. Let's first go and add it in the main menu. Alright, so there you go. Let's go ahead and design it. So remove this placeholder and return scaffold. Alright, so let's go ahead and see. So the first thing, we're going to turn the background color and make it gray of 10. This scaffold. So these colors, I've already shared them with you. Just go ahead and download that project, the Scratch project. The link is in the description of the video. Okay. Then after download that Scratch project, the one that you'll begin with to create the system. Then you give it this background. We give it the up bar, we eliminate it and give it a 0 height. Okay, the up bar will give it a 0 height. Alright, so after doing that, we're going now to go ahead and add a single scroll view. Our body of single scroll view. So the single scroll view is going to take a child of what? Of a container, and this child of container is going to take what? Child of column. Right, and this column is going to take what? Children. And the children, the first thing we're going to add there is the what? Is the stack, because we want this image to be on top. We want the image to be behind these things. So let's go ahead and add our stack. Alright, then we pass children. Then after, we're going to give it what? The container. I'm going to explain a few things in this container. It's just having a background color of primary color, and then it's having a width of infinity and height of 256, and then it has a box decoration. Okay, a box decoration that is having a background with opacity of 0.4, and then it has a child of an image of asset, and then this image is image 8. Okay, so it's just a container with these few parameters that you can pause the video and look at them. So you have something beautiful like that one. Okay, so after doing that, we're going to now give another container in bottom of it that is going to have this item. So I'm going to copy it and explain it step by step. So I'll just simply come here after this container. So since it is a stack, it means that this one is going to be on top of the other one. So it is just having a width of infinity, and it has a column, and then after the column we have a main axis of size minimum, and then the alignment of center, and then we have we have children here. This widget is option if you want to put it, if you want, don't put it. And then to have an asset of what? Image asset of this image. Okay, and this image had this height and this color. Okay, so after doing that, then we will pass the text. Since it is a column and takes multiple children, and this text you can import it. Okay, pressing Alt and Enter. Then you put the style of what? Of the text, and then save. Then you'll have something beautiful like this one. So I hope you are observing what I'm doing right now. Okay, so after having that, the next thing that we're going to put is not put this top bar, these ones. Okay, so that it can be on up, like our app bar should be on top. So just simply come and copy this, and I'm going to explain it. So I'll come here after this container, I'll come and add now what, our app bar, which is nothing but remember the app bar that we had to eliminate it by giving it a height of 0. So this one has just an icon button of menu and have a spacer since it's in a row. So a spacer is going to push both of them from the further end, and then you have an icon of search, and then also an icon of what, of more. Okay, and they are white. So since we have an overlay between this of black, then the content in white in front, it will be visible. Then you'll have something nice like that one. I hope we are together. So after doing that, the next thing is now you go to this content. Okay, then you go to this content. I hope our time is up, but we can do it faster. Okay, so I'll just simply come and copy this container. Okay, this container, since all of them, they're in stack, you know, they're in stack, so they're just going to be on top of the other. So I'll come and copy the container, put that container here. Alright, so after doing that, we just give it these parameters, the paddings, alright, and then the transform, translate to this value, right? So it can become some kind of an animation. And then after you give it some children, a child of what, of column, and then give it some children, and then this children is where now you're going to put this card. Okay, this card. So just go ahead and create the card. Okay, and the card is going to take these parameters. Okay, you can pause the video and look at them. Just color, and then the shape, and then it takes what, the child. So the child is going to be a container that's going to have a column inside it. Okay, so making something nice is not simple. That's why not everyone does nice thing. Okay, child, and then it's going to have a column inside it. Going to have children, and then inside those children we are going to give first the parameter and make sure that they're always at start. Then inside these children is where we're going to give maybe this top title here. Okay, then you go ahead and give this top title. Okay, so you can see the styling of this title. All right, so go ahead and do that. Save. All right, so after, give it height, then give these parameters. So you can see how I do one here. Pause the video and see how I do one, then you do the rest like that. Should be outside stack, otherwise stack will not make it appear. Should be next to the stack in this column, like this. All right, so we are here. Okay, so in this column, so in this column we're going to now give different parameters. This one here, different rows and value, row and value, row and value. Okay, so you can just pause the video and see how these row and values are written. So I'll go ahead and give it here. So they're just text, an icon, a row which has an icon, and then the text like this. Hope you can see that. Okay, so do the same. This I have to give it some padding. Yeah, like this, you see. So we're going to do the same for the rest. Row that has icon and text, okay. And then you'll have something nice like that. Okay, so this can be a single product details page, something like that. All right, so you can create it only one time and then you reuse it in different projects. Then after doing like that, then you can go ahead and create this card of address. So the card of address, I'm going to put it outside here. No. Okay, I'm going to put it next to this card. After stack, I can collapse this one and then I put it here. So the card of address, you can challenge yourself and do it even without looking, you see. Here. Yeah, like this. So challenge yourself and do that card of address. Then lastly, you can put the description. It's just nothing but some lorem ipsum text. I import my string, then boom, you have such a beautiful user interface. Okay, so pause the video and look at the code carefully, or you go ahead and just try to create your own way of how you can achieve such a nice thing or such a beautiful UI. All right, that makes our end of our today's lecture. We meet in another lecture where we're going to look at so many other interesting things. So don't miss next lectures. Today we have covered the cards and the bottom sheets. So in the next lecture, we'll take it from there and look at other interesting things that you can implement while doing your user interfaces. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so when you upload the next video, you're notified. And also don't give up. Keep learning, though it's boring, but that's the only way you can get skilled. There is no any other way you can get skilled. So see you and goodbye.